And I think we're live. So
maybe, possibly, hopefully.
Yeah, maybe, possibly, hopefully. We certainly think so.
I will jump into the Twitch chat, so I will let us know soon.
All right, so welcome to the WAN show, guys. The weekly stream that happens every week, come hell or high water. No matter what, even if we have already been streaming for almost a continuous 24 hours prior to the show, which is what's been going on. So I think we'd best open with a brief introduction or a brief explanation of what the heck is going on and where we actually are. For those of you who don't know, we have been live streaming NVIDIA's Mod 24 event. So here's the back of my shirt. Mod 24, which was a 24-hour celebration of PC modding and PC gaming. I know for a fact NVIDIA invested a lot of money into... Oh, hold on a second.
I got it.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The dashboard should not have ads. All right, maybe Amazon will get that fixed. All right, so we've been down here for NVIDIA's Mod 24, a 24-hour celebration of PC gaming and PC modding. They invested a lot of money into the event, and they asked us to come down and host the PC case modding competition. There were a lot of really famous PC case modders, including Darth Beavis is someone that I've known for like 8 years, talking to him on forums. I think this is the first time we've ever actually met in person, which was really cool. Funnily enough, his rig isn't behind us, but we do have the winning rig behind us, which was, I think the story that went along with it was
really cool.
Was really, really special. Had to do with their favorite LAN, one of their favorite NVIDIA employees who used to come down to that LAN. And people are saying I look exhausted. Guys,
I wonder why.
I wonder why. I have hardly slept in the last few days here. But don't worry, we are going to make it through this show in spite of the fact that neither Luke nor I has actually really looked at the stream document yet.
No clue what's going on.
So we're going to pick some highlighted topics for this week. First up is, of course, the launch of the GTX 980 and GTX 970. That is one of the reasons that we are down here in California right now.
And we have a video up for the 980, and I think we're going to be getting a video up hopefully next week.
Yeah, next week
970.
We're going to hit the 970.
And I don't know if this is official or not, but I kind of leaked it a little bit during the Mod 24 stream that we might be doing some SLI testing.
Oh, we will definitely be doing some SLI testing. So next big thing that happened this week, Microsoft officially acquires Mojang. So for those of you who don't know, Mojang is the maker of the infamous Minecraft. So... what Microsoft plans to do with Minecraft, I think people either don't know or don't want to know, or somewhere in between.
Yep. And then there is, let's see, there was something really interesting somewhere. Oh no.
All right, Apple has updated their security on the iPhone, on iOS, such that if your phone is locked, even they cannot access your data, which I guess is their way of absolving themselves of any responsibility to report any of their users' data to the government in such a situation as that would be requested of them. So I gotta give them massive, massive kudos for that. With that said, the release of iOS 8 doesn't seem to have created a whole ton of fanfare amidst the community, so it seems to be a lot of under-the-hood improvements without a ton of huge graphical changes like we saw in iOS 7. So why don't we call that our main topics, roll the intro, and...
I finally found it. That's cool, we'll talk about that.
And get this show on the road.
Yeah.
You can sign up at squarespace.com/Linus and use offer code Linus to save 10% on your own beautiful customizable website. So we have only got, let's see, 75 minutes of battery. So we're going to have to kind of fly through our topics today and do our best to cover them as well as we can, especially given we have no idea what we're talking about.
So for GTX 980, which is actually our first topic, you can check out our YouTube video, so we can fly past this one pretty quick. And also the GTX 970 launch, we'll be having a video coming next week, so I don't think we need to talk a ton about these individually.
Well, they are kind of important.
They are kind of important, that is true. Should we talk about them?
Yeah, I think it might not be a terrible idea.
So in our performance testing in the YouTube video, we found that 980 and 780 Ti go pretty toe-to-toe in a lot of different situations, but then 980 crushes 780 Ti in power efficiency.
Yeah, so to be clear, guys, when you look at any other review on the web, you're going to find 980 pretty much dominating everything else, but the key difference is that we overclock all of our cards as far as we possibly can before running all of our benchmarks. So what we found is that while 980 is a beast overclocker, I think there was only one game that wasn't running over 1500 megahertz on the core. Yeah. Like, really?
Yeah, pretty impressive.
You serious, bro? Our 780 Ti is also a bit of a beast and runs well over 1200 megahertz too. So given the number of CUDA cores, given the 384-bit memory bus, that 780 Ti has a lot of raw horsepower to throw at any kind of a rendering problem. So we ended up with them kind of trading blows. The one that I'm actually really interested in, and it's a kind of a funny story why we didn't end up with a GTX 970 in time for us to do a review for launch. I was sitting in the briefing down in California, which is where I am now. So here, I was sitting in the briefing very close to where I am right now, and I got an email from Gigabyte. Yo dog, here's graphics card code name something, and I wasn't looking that closely at it because I was in the middle of a presentation. Do you want us to send you a sample for a review? And I kind of went, yeah, sure. And I figured because NVIDIA was only seeding GTX 980s, I figured that Gigabyte was sending us a 970. Turns out that the one that arrived from Gigabyte is a 980. So we actually ended up with too many 980s and no 970s at all. So I asked Gigabyte about it. I said, hey, do you guys have a 970 that we can get our hands on? We haven't been able to do a review yet. And they said, oh, well, we actually prioritized you to get a 980 because you're a key partner for us. And I kind of went, oh, thank you. That didn't work out very well for anyone, but thank you.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate the thought. You guys are awesome. We love working with you and all that stuff. I just really wish we had a 970 so we could do a review of it.
So that's why that's not out this week, but that'll be out next week.
Yeah, we'll get that up, but I'm really interested in that one because the pricing is so really aggressive. As low as $330 in the US for a card that is effectively around 20% slower than the GTX 980 because they cut down some of the functional units.
And I don't actually know, you were at the event, but I'm assuming it also has auto balancing power rails.
No, sorry, that is still a top tier. I know, that's still a top tier only feature. So 780 Ti, GTX 980 are the only ones that have that auto balancing power feature that makes overclocking on these cards pretty flexible and pretty beastly.
Yeah. So we'll see. That'll be interesting because it'll be a completely different overclocking experience of the new platform.
So the OP here is Good Bytes. What I'm going to do this week is I'm just going to kind of spam Twitch chat because I didn't think to bring... Oh, you have got to be kidding me. I didn't think to bring two... Oh, wait, what? Oh, here we go. I got this. I didn't think to bring two capture devices here, so we've just got the one for our camera, so I can't actually screen share with you guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spam chat with the links to the articles that we're talking about. So the original poster...
After this, let me manage the chat spam.
The original poster was Good Bytes, and basically Microsoft has revealed a fair number of details about DirectX 11.3 and DirectX 12. Now, we've got a lot of information in the doc that hopefully Luke is reading right now, so he can talk about this a little bit. But in a nutshell, we actually had the DirectX project lead presenting at the NVIDIA press event last week. And in a nutshell, he basically said, okay, well look, here's what it is. DirectX 11.3 is the features. So it's got the new rendering features that are really exciting and are going to potentially free up overhead on the GPUs, make it so that they can more efficiently render things like multiple transparent objects. So they showed off
rasterizer ordered views.
Yeah, rasterizer ordered views, thank you. So he showed off a few different things that DirectX 11.3 can do, and then explained that DirectX 12 is basically going to have those features, except with all that CPU performance optimization that we've been hearing about ever since AMD first started talking about Mantle and how it was going to allow your your multi-core CPU to spread out workloads much more effectively. Now, the funny thing about DirectX 12 is that not only have they made it so that they're going to be able to split the workload across CPUs, but in the slides that he showed us, something really interesting that we noticed is CPU usage overall also plummets. So while the theory that, the theory that I've had up until he gave us that presentation was that all of a sudden we're going to have we're going to have a justification for GTX 5960X just for straight gaming, and games are going to be able to leverage that. I kind of went, well, hold on a second.
GTX 5960X.
Did I say that? Core i7 5960X. Thank you. So it's just running one game. I was like, okay, maybe we'll be able to use all 8 of these cores and all 16 of these threads. But then I kind of realized, well, hold on a second. If CPU utilization is going down this much, we might just not need the cores or the clock speed. It'll be really interesting to see what happens to what we need in terms of CPU power for gaming. I mean, what I'd really like to see happen is I'd like to see game developers use the CPU horsepower that we have anyway.
AI, different stuff like that.
AI, destructible environments. I don't know how CPU intensive it is, but NVIDIA's new global illumination feature, I would love to see some of that offloaded to the CPU so that we can get truly much more dynamic visually games in the next couple of years here.
It might take us a little bit to see some of these implementations because there's a few warnings. It says it's very powerful, but it's difficult to master and quote-unquote dangerous and inexperienced in the hands of inexperienced programmers. They're saying that the development model is that a few code gurus will make stuff like engines and platforms that other people can build on top of, and outside of that, they don't really expect too many people to touch it because it will be a very, very complicated thing to work with.
All right, so our next topic is engineers made a radio the size of an ant that doesn't require a battery. This was originally posted by ETRJ on the Linus Tech Tips forum, and the original article is from TheVerge.com. So engineering professors from Stanford and the University of California, Berkeley, I don't know how that sentence was supposed to be structured. So anyway, created a radio the size of an ant, no battery. It's actually powered by harvesting radio signals and doesn't require any external power. So the goal is to use these chips to facilitate the Internet of Things. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the term Internet of Things, it refers to the concept that everything will be connected. So not just your smartwatch, not just your smartphone, but even something as simple as your headphones, and high quality headphones, not headphones where having connectivity in them is just this janky, kludgy, gimmicky type of feature. Just everything will have connectivity because it will be so cheap to implement and so easy to implement that even good products will just have it. So something as simple as, your power adapter for your notebook could be connected. There's no reason why it couldn't be, and that could feed into your house and tell your house how much power it's consuming, and the house could, automatically balance power. Who knows? Like, the idea is just that once everything's connected, we're going to unlock a lot of possibilities that we didn't have before. Things like doorknobs, things like your car door. So just being able to carry your smartphone in your pocket and have everything in your life be connected. So obviously, we're not there yet.
No.
I mean, you can look at something like the Moto 360 as a great example of how this type of technology is not cheap or power efficient enough yet for ubiquity. Mind you,
Part
I
of that
think
problem is because they used like I think it was a processor from 2010. And,
you have to assume that they did that for cost reasons.
There's actually a lot of different reviews out there talking about how there doesn't really seem to be much of a sensible reason, because there's actually cheaper chips that would have been better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they got like a massive bulk order of it for some like ridiculously cheap price or something. I don't know.
Even that doesn't really make any sense, because
No.
I mean, the release cadence for mobile products tends to be about a year. And so I wouldn't expect Motorola to be refreshing the Moto 360 for probably about a year. So it's not like you order a year's worth of CPUs ever. That doesn't make any sense.
It seems so silly. Like I don't understand why they did that. And I was so excited to get a Moto 360, and I'm so happy that I've taken to never pre-ordering things.
Yeah.
Because holy crap, don't want one anymore.
So anyway, these new chips that are powered by harvesting radio signals are only supposed to cost a few cents to produce. So that could make it possible to integrate them in these types of commodity items, things like light bulbs, things that are just all over your house, and the kind of information they could provide could be pretty cool. I mean, not just being able to tell you, okay, how much power the light bulb is consuming, but allow you to turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah, they can send and receive information.
Yep.
So you could be like, kitchen light bulb on.
Yep.
I
mean, that kind of stuff exists right now, but the problem is that it's really expensive.
Yep.
The app ecosystems are not that consistent.
Yeah.
And it's just not quite there yet.
Moving on, we have Microsoft acquiring Mojang, so the guys that make Minecraft for $2.5 billion. It was officially announced on September 15th. I'm going to spam this in Switch chat. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of money.
So, I mean...
And sorry, this is again posted on the forum by the same guy that posted the last thread. If I can jump over there.
ETRJ.
ETRJ, there we go.
So a lot of the community is pretty upset about, feeling like they got abandoned by Notch.
At the same time, like...
But I get it.
Yeah. He has his reasons. He said that he decided he doesn't want the responsibility of owning a company of such global significance.
And you know what? He's kind of got a point, because I think, and it's not a matter of selling out when you've already made the money. Notch doesn't have to work another day in his life, but he will.
Yeah.
Because he's passionate. He wants to do something else. But when you're running something of such significance that's of importance to so many people, you end up trapped.
He became Minecraft.
Yeah.
Instead of being himself. He was Minecraft at this point in time.
And so, yes, he sold the money for what he could get. I mean, I don't think that that's an unfair thing to do, and I think it's unreasonable to expect someone to, I don't know what, give the company away. Like how do you get rid of the company without selling out? It's not even, you're going to run into a ton of legal difficulty trying to give away an asset that's worth billions of dollars. Like that is not okay. You legitimately can't do that.
Yeah.
So if he wants out, if he doesn't want to do Minecraft for the rest of his life, then you know what? I guess it might be better to do it now than to wait even longer and longer and longer. And I think that it's I don't know. I'm excited to see what he's going to do next.
Yeah, me too, because other things that I heard, like this isn't necessarily in the doc, and I haven't done enough research on this at all, but I've just kind of heard through the rumor mill that a lot of it was being frustrated too, because he wants to work on all these other different things, but the second he does, everyone's like, why aren't you working on Minecraft?
Yeah.
Look how much money it's making you. Why aren't you working on Minecraft?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care. I want to work on these things that are more entertaining.
When you have that many millions of dollars, like I think some people feel like they need more millions of dollars.
Notch doesn't seem like one of those guys.
But when you have that much money, a lot of people are just going to kind of go, yeah, you know what? I'm set for life. This is fine. And the funny thing about it is, even guys like I saw an interesting quote from Donald Trump not that long ago, where he was talking about why he wheels and deals, why he tries to make more money. He's like, yeah, I don't need money. Basically, I'm driven, and I love to deal. I love to buy. I love to sell. This is what I do. This is what gets me up in the morning. And I kind of went, yeah, I guess I kind of get that.
Yeah.
And, you know, if Notch's passion is making great games, and ultimately it's not about the money, then that doesn't mean he can't make a ton of money doing it. It just means that he's going to be driven to do that thing. And if we put him in this box where it's like, you have to work on Minecraft because money, that's not going to make any sense in his head.
No. I don't know. Interesting situation.
I mean, but I also get it, because Minecraft is so community driven. It's all about community. And you know, feeling
had this
like
kind of fearless leader for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you've had this advocate, you've had this face to put on Minecraft, where unfortunately, you know, he doesn't want his face on Minecraft anymore. The graphics ain't that good. Maybe he wants a better face.
It's so boxy.
I'm just kidding. All right, we've got some pretty good news here. So OP is QWERTY Warrior. Vesa released the DisplayPort 1.3 standard. So the maximum link bandwidth has been increased to 32.4 gigabit per second. So the reason we need higher link bandwidth, you guys, is not only higher resolution displays, but higher refresh rate displays.
Yeah.
Currently with DisplayPort 1.2, 4K is limited to 60 hertz. But there's no real reason why particularly a TN panel couldn't run higher than 60 hertz. Why not? Why not? Why put everyone in a box? No. We want faster display links so that we can start getting faster and faster refresh rates on these higher resolution displays. So extremely excited to see that. It's about a 50% increase in maximum refresh rate, or in maximum bandwidth versus DisplayPort 1.2a. It should be noted though that that's not going to translate directly into 50% higher resolution or 50% higher for frame rate, because you're going to have more overhead built into that. So there we go. Actually, that's the next point in the doc here. So the combined link rate delivers 25.92 gigabit per second of uncompressed video data. So that allows higher resolutions like the recently announced 5K, 5120 by 2880, and that's through one cable without compression. Extremely exciting. I mean, you know what? As much as it's great that we're getting interfaces that are going to be able to handle these resolutions without compression,
Windows can't.
it is a matter. Yeah, Windows can't. And guys, compression's not necessarily the scariest thing in the world.
Yeah.
A little bit of compression isn't going to kill us, and we are reaching the limits of what copper-based interfaces are going to be able to do. I mean, that's one of the reasons why HDMI and DisplayPort have been so slow to continue increasing the bandwidth, because we're getting pretty close to what we're going to be able to do without much more expensive transmitters and receivers on either end, and or more expensive link materials. So we're either going to get to the point where we're legitimately going to need fancy cables.
What?
Again.
Remake that video.
Yeah, I know, right? Damn it!
Crap!
Or we're just going to accept, so the processors are going to get more complex and less expensive, and we're just going to accept that we're going to have to do some on-the-fly compression and decompression, and hope that that doesn't add to the latency. So this is cool. You can drive two 4K Ultra HD monitors when using Vesa coordinated video timing. Continues to support VGA, DVI, and HDMI via cheapo adapters. That's one of the things that I really like about DisplayPort, is that compared to HDMI, even HDMI 2.0, which the new GTX 980 supports and can handle 4K at 60 Hz, DisplayPort adapts to other standards much more easily, which is huge thumbs up. Although I was pretty pleased to find out that HDMI 2.0 didn't end up requiring a connector change.
Yeah.
That was rumored for a long time, and it ended up not becoming a thing. Extremely pleased to see that.
I think we had a rant about that on the WAN show, actually.
I think we did.
Quite a while back, but yeah.
I think we did. I mean, on the one hand, okay, but the flip side of that is I sure wish HDMI had a lock-in connector.
Yes.
So I'm glad that we're retaining forwards and backwards compatibility for so long. I mean, that really is admirable. But
they could have even done like a side-mounted screw mount thing, though.
There
It could have been the same.
There is a company that does kind of this ghetto locking HDMI connector. I think they patented it, though.
Okay.
And what it does is it clips into just part of the housing that's not meant to be a lock.
Yeah.
But it kind of cheats and clips in there.
Yeah.
So So there you go. Vesa releases DisplayPort 1.3. Awesome.
Moving down, we have Comcast telling customers to
Hold
stop
on. DisplayPort 1.3 enables support for future 8K displays. So that's something that we should probably mention. And that's... Oh, this is cool. Also supports a single 4K monitor, 60 Hz, 24-bit color over 2 lanes, while offering another 2 lanes for alternative data types like super speed USB data.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool. No, DisplayPort is
cool.
really coming into its own and is going to, I think, is just going to be the dominant display.
That's really interesting.
I mean, look at, again, back to GTX 980. How hard is NVIDIA banking on DisplayPort? 3 DisplayPort connectors on the back of the card.
Pretty heavy duty, actually.
Pretty heavy duty. I mean, G-Sync only works over DisplayPort. This is an NVIDIA technology that they kind of went, okay, where's the industry heading? We're going to bet on DisplayPort. And you know what? For that matter, AMD has done the same thing.
Yeah, earlier, I think.
AMD was shipping cards with 2 DisplayPort connectors much earlier on than NVIDIA was. So,
yeah.
I mean, when those two agree on something...
Probably a good thing. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
So Comcast has started telling customers to stop using Tor.
And they've denied this. They've denied this, to be clear.
Yeah.
Did you post the link in the chat?
I have not yet, but I have it copy-pasted, so I got it.
All right, so this was posted in the forum by, and then there was one, and there are a couple of articles that were used as references for this, though. So Inquisitor.com and Deep.web.com. But there is a lot of information here, and I'll let you run through it.
An agent named Jeremy, I almost said Jenny because I'm pretty tired, but an agent named Jeremy has allegedly called Tor an illegal service and said that Tor is against their usage policies, and apparently they've repeatedly asked customers to tell the agent what sites the users were accessing through the Tor browser. One customer spoke to Jeremy, then called back the next day and spoke with an agent named Kelly. She reiterated that Comcast does not want its customers using Tor, and she allegedly said that users who try to use anonymity to cover themselves on the internet are usually doing things they aren't, so to speak, legal. We have the right to terminate, fine, and or suspend your account at any time due to violating the rules.
You know, to me,
Seriously?
A fine should have to come from some kind of legal entity. I mean, if you, what's next? The grocery store is going to fine me? Like, are you kidding? Like, if I actually, I guess a grocery store is a bad example, because if I was walking around the grocery store putting things into my coat so that people wouldn't know what I was buying, I probably would get, I probably would get prosecuted.
Get fined.
You wouldn't get fined, but you could get prosecuted. I think they'd have to wait for you to leave the store with it. But they could have a plainclothes following you around.
Totally different. That's legitimately stealing.
Hold on. No, because what if I intended to pay for it? I just didn't want people knowing what I was buying.
But you left the store with it.
No, let's say I didn't leave the store.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say Okay, so hold on a second. Maybe I wouldn't... Okay, so I wouldn't get fined. But let's talk...
They could ask you about it. They could request you to leave the store.
Okay, they could do that.
Premises, but they can't arrest you. You haven't left the store yet.
What can they do? They can follow you around, but then that's their private property, so that's allowed. Yeah, I don't think there's an equivalent to this.
No.
I'd love to hear from the Twitch chat. Guys, let us know.
Especially if there's like a loss prevention agent.
This is great. Dion7Dusk, lol grocery police.
Lol. If there's a loss prevention agent out there that actually knows the like shoving stuff in your pocket.
We'd love to hear about that, because
what's up, like, okay, so what's the equivalent, like, my mom does this. I know a lot of people that do this kind of stuff where they're like, go grab a drink from the fridge in a store and just drink the whole thing before they're done leaving the store and then just buy it.
Yeah, the funny thing about that is it's always made me really uncomfortable. Even when I was a kid, I
hate it.
My aunt would often say, hey, are you thirsty? Here, get this, and start drinking it. And I'd be like, no, I don't want to drink it till we leave. And she'd be like, well, we're shopping.
Like, what if my card doesn't work?
We're shopping. We're not leaving.
It's such an awkward...
I'm not even worried about that. Although I did have a really awkward situation at Tim Hortons where I forgot my wallet and my wife forgot her wallet, and we were in Vancouver, and I had already placed my order, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot my wallet. Can I run out to the car and grab my wife's? So when I come back, she's got my order ready for me, and I'm like, yo dog, I'm sorry. My wife doesn't have her wallet either. I have to go. I think I made it up to them. I went and I borrowed some money from a relative who lives in Vancouver, and then I went all the way back to that Tim Hortons, even though it was out of my way. I was like, I have cash now. but they probably had to throw at least some of it away.
I'm sure they did.
Like, I feel terrible. Anyway, sorry, what were we talking about?
Stealing stuff from stores, drinking things before you leave.
Right. I just feel weird about it.
I remember that.
I
I don't do it. I know I think my mom does a little bit. I know other people that I go shopping with have done it. And even when I'm with someone who's doing it, I feel super uncomfortable. I don't know why. It's just, I'm not really into that at all.
They have to have you on video. Someone has to watch you put it in your pocket. They can follow you and watch you, but you have not broken the law until you attempt to leave the store without paying. Okay, so there you go. Perfectly reasonable.
Because you should be able to go around a shopping center without a basket or shopping cart.
Right. I mean, they can ask you to leave your bag at the front.
Yeah.
So I usually...
And they can ask you to leave the store.
Yep. Yeah, it is their right to do that.
Yeah.
We have 5,000 live viewers right now who are tuned into our stream.
Which is like super late, like 2.5 hours
2 hours late. Like janky quality.
Don't know anything about the topics.
In the middle, we have no lighting other than like the terrible fluorescent lighting in this boardroom.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys?
Thanks for showing up.
We love your support.
That's really cool.
We appreciate you guys. You guys are cool.
Speaking of things that aren't cool, is Comcast has a past of being against Tor and is listed on Tor's bad ISP project list thing.
All right.
So.
Well. As if Comcast was not
listed on a good one.
Good ISP list.
Come on. Anyways, I still had to point that out. But yeah.
All right. So this next topic is from, and then there was one as well. Original article is from VentureBeat. So the NSA is mapping the internet. I'm not sure if this is news, but
NSA stuff. Just like assume anything you could ever dream of that's like bad and on the internet. Be like, yeah, the NSA probably has something to do with that.
So the program is trying to create an interactive map of the global internet in close to real time that would try to identify the devices through which data flows, such as routers. The program is supposed to help in computer attack and exploit planning, offering a battlefield map for cyber warfare. Targeted companies...
that sounds good.
Yeah. So targeted companies include Deutsche Telekom, the owner of T-Mobile, and the German ISP NetCologne. So... pretty cool, NSA. You guys are just staying cool.
This is interesting because Germany was already pissed off.
Yeah, I know, right?
About tapping into what's-her-name's phone. So, it'd be pretty interesting. This next one, literally know nothing about it. Are we going to do this one, or are we going to jump over it?
Yeah, no, let's go ahead. So, Apple's warrant Canary disappears. Suggesting new Patriot Act demands. So this was originally posted by lols on the forum.
We don't have an actual link, though.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, the original article is from Gigome. So if you want to just maybe post that link in the chat. So Apple's first transparency report on government activity in late 2013 included a footnote that stated, Apple has never received an order under Section 215 of the USA Patriot Act. We would expect to challenge such an order if served on us. So writer and cyber activist Cory Doctorow recognized that language as a warrant canary, or a way of thwarting the secrecy imposed by the Patriot Act. Companies and publishers have included these canaries to signal to their users that so far they have not been subjected to a given type of secret subpoena by law enforcement. When this language is removed, it is likely that the situation has changed and the company has been subject to such a request, but of course is being told that they can't say anything about it. So having that canary in place protects them and their users as long as people are paying attention. So Section 215 of the Patriot Act permits the NSA to demand companies to hand over their business records in secret. It is believed that it is the legal foundation of the PRISM program. So, yeah.
Not good.
Not good. Mind you, this comes at around the same time as Apple's recent change to the way they handle user data.
Which is awesome.
Which is pretty awesome. That basically, in a nutshell, means that if your phone is locked, even Apple cannot get to it. So that is pretty much their way of throwing up their hands and going, well, okay, you served us a warrant for something we legitimately can't access, so Peace, bro.
I really like that. That's really cool. And I actually know a lot of people that are pretty heavy Android users that might legitimately switch just because of that reason.
It's a reason to switch.
It's kind of a big deal.
I'd like to see how Google responds to this.
Yeah.
Because the way that Google is about data farming.
They want all your data.
They want all your data.
They want it all the time.
And they want it all the time. I gotta feel like if Google were to decide that they were gonna leave your data alone when your phone is locked, that would be very out of character for them. So I don't know. It might put them in a bit of an awkward position.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this was originally posted on the forum by Ion Bassa, the world's first fully functional 3D printed car. This was bound to happen.
Yeah.
You gotta bet that there were any number of people working on making this happen.
Oh my god, you can download a car.
So it was designed, printed, and driven by Arizona-based Local Motors. Printing and assembly took just 44 hours.
Hey, Local Motors, these are the guys that make that trike thing that I'm hoping to get.
All right.
For a review. Don't worry about it. Probably won't even happen, but yeah.
After 44 hours, the car was drivable. It's named the Strati, so Italian for layers. Electric powered. It's a 2-seat compact roadster. It has a battery, a motor, wiring, and suspension. These all came from a variety of sources, including Renault's Twizy city car. Twizy?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm clearly tired, and I apologize for any words that I'm slurring or pronouncing incorrectly, because I'm just not...
Processors.
Yeah, GTX processors. Chassis and body are printed from a carbon fiber reinforced plastic compound. It has only 40 parts to it in comparison to a normal car with 20,000 or more parts. This ties into a conversation we had earlier today where we were talking about how electric cars right now are very expensive, but once they become more of a commodity item and less of a curiosity, less high tech, I expect them to actually be much cheaper.
Not even necessarily that,
cars.
but once battery production goes up, because that gigafactory that Telus.
Oh
no!
I know, right?
Oh,
you have sullied the good name of Tesla by calling them Telus.
I feel like a horrible person. Okay.
You are a horrible person.
The gigafactory that Tesla is intending to build in Nevada will actually produce more of that type of battery than all of the other factories in the entire world combined.
Right now. Yeah.
Which is like ridiculous.
So with battery production going up to that extent, I am expecting, and based on how simple an electric car is compared to an internal combustion car, I mean, I think gas-powered vehicles are going to look stupid to my kids by the time they're old enough to be adults buying a car. It's going to be this weird, eccentric thing to do to own a fossil fuel powered vehicle. I really do think so. I think that we're still going to continue to see fossil fuels augment battery power. So having a small, lawnmower, like rider mower class internal combustion engine in there to charge the battery in an emergency or whatever else, I think we're going to continue to see that. But expecting cars to just run on gas, I don't know. Industrial vehicles potentially still will.
Especially being down here. Actually is pretty amazing. While we were coming to NVIDIA headquarters, I saw on the road at least 10 different electric cars. And not just Teslas, because this area is known for Teslas, a whole wide range of them. So that was actually really interesting to see. The 3D printed car will cost anywhere between $18,000 and $30,000 though. So...
Right now, the materials alone are probably what's driving up the cost. I mean, just plain plastic filament, nothing special about it, incredibly expensive.
Pretty expensive.
You buy enough of that stuff to build a car, you're going to be spending a lot of money. Now you talk about carbon fiber reinforced filament. Yeah. And also, it's going to be such low volume at the beginning that you're not going to be able to take advantage of any
Local
economies of
Motors
scale.
is kind of a specialty kind of shop, so it's not surprising at all.
I mean, if they were producing 1,000 times as many of them, I think we would see prices drop pretty considerably.
And I'm sure if you work with them, it's going to be a very personalized experience as well.
This is kind of cool, too. The cost might seem high at first, but many of the parts can be reused when you decide to change cars or upgrade. So
That's a good point.
yeah, I'm guessing things like the motor could potentially be reused if you decide to, you know, I want a single-seater type vehicle. I don't see any reason why you couldn't put it inside a different 3D printed vehicle.
Yeah, or a very different angle, whereas like if your battery's running kind of crap, you can swap the battery out, keep using the chassis and the motor and all that kind of stuff. Or if the motor dies for some reason, you can keep using the battery and the chassis.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that's really cool about the simplicity of an electric vehicle is, I think the scariness of car mechanic work is going to go away to a great extent. I mean, Tesla showed off what? They swap a battery in 90 seconds?
90 seconds.
Like,
and that's that like huge battery on the bottom.
Yeah, so if they can do it in 90 seconds, I'm sure I can do it in an hour.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think I can probably handle this.
I think you'd have to, I think you could do it if you had a torque driver.
That's it?
I think that's the only thing you really need.
Wow.
Because you have to be able to torque in the screws to a very specific amount, and then I think.
Yeah, but you can buy one of those for what, like $40 at Canadian Tire, maybe $50.
Honestly, it's not even that bad. I think that's all you actually need. You need to be able to jack up the car, and then a torque driver. I think that's all you need.
Wow, that's outstanding.
Obviously, not entirely sure, but as I don't think anyone has tried doing it themselves. But anyways, as far as I know, that's all you'll need.
All right, so this was originally posted by Tech Fanatic on the forum, and this is actually pretty funny. I haven't found out if this ever happened.
Yeah, because we weren't at a public event.
Yeah, we weren't at the public event down in LA, but there was an email sent out by AMD to their Team Red members, ready to infiltrate Game 24. Mentions the warm reception from enthusiasts about their recent AMD 30 Live webcast. Mentioned that we're intrigued that another graphics products company jumped on the bandwagon by announcing a similar event. They warmly encourage their fans to attend the event, proudly wearing their favorite red t-shirt, and encourage their viewers to tweet pictures of themselves wearing their colors at the events, and promise to send some love the way of their users. I haven't actually been tuned into the internet enough to know if anything happened. So
honestly, anytime I was dual streaming our own stream to talk to the chat. So I haven't really seen the actual Game 24 stream in its entirety.
I know. I haven't even seen the intro videos for the modders whose builds we were covering the creation of for the last 24 hours. So you know what we've got to do? Before we end the show here, guys, we're going to do our sponsors next, I think. Then we've got a few more topics. But before we end the show, we're gonna pick up the camera off the tripod because I think we have the flexibility to do that here. There should be no reason we can't move it. And we're gonna come and we're gonna take a close look at these rigs because they are absolutely beautiful. You guys are gonna love them. I am amazed at what these teams did in 24 hours.
How much battery life are we running at right now?
We are sitting at around 45 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're cool. We're running good.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, I don't have an AC adapter for the camera, so we can.
You're very limited by battery life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sponsor spots, you said?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do you wanna change over to our sponsor spots?
Yeah.
Actually, I've got a site for you to head to. I want to do SquareSpace first. So guys, SquareSpace. Hope we're back.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Woo! We are back. Thankfully, are we still streaming? We're still streaming. Okay. Oh, SquareSpace, the fast, easy way to create your own beautiful website that works.
Where are we going? SquareSpace.com?
Yeah. No. I've got a URL for you. You're friggin' stressing me out here, man. It's foreverfraiche.com. Fraiche. That spelling of fresh. So, SquareSpace, guys, do I have the lower third up?
You do.
So squarespace.com/Linus is where to go if you want to give us credit for, referring you to Squarespace. Basically, if you've ever wanted to make your own website, Squarespace is a fantastic way to do it. They've got great tools, including their logo creator, their website creator. They make it easy to use. They also give you the ability to dig a little bit deeper if you are more experienced, or if you want to get something off the ground now and then learn as you go and continue to develop your mobile site, whether it's a blog or a store or just a portfolio or really anything, just an informational website that you want to run. And what's really cool about Squarespace is what are we still working? That looks frozen.
Yes, it's frozen because I'm screen regioning. Whenever you're ready.
You're screen regioning. Oh, cool. Okay, that's good. So one really cool thing about what Squarespace does for the Linus Tech Tips WAN Show podcast is every single month they sponsor us without fail. They sponsor 2 episodes a month. They give us a lot of support. So guys, if you know anyone who's looking for a website, they want to make their own website, refer them to Squarespace. You won't regret it. They won't regret it. So there's all that good stuff. And what's even cooler than that is if you decide to give Squarespace a try, they have a 2-week trial, no commitment required, 2-week trial. You create your own website. If you decide to do that, create your own website and tweet it to me with #LinusSquarespace, we give away an entire year of Squarespace hosted website for once every single month. So Forever Fraiche is our winner for this month. So let's go ahead and get that up on the screen. If Luke could go ahead and...
I think we're having some trouble because the resolution of the desktop was so crazy high.
Oh, that makes sense.
Freaked out.
We are streaming on a 3K notebook right now. It's an Aorus X3. So, yeah, we're not really sure how to handle the screen region capturing right now at this moment. So can you just make the browser small and make a smaller screen?
I tried that. It
region?
Just doesn't seem to warrant it.
This is what happens when we change all the streaming gear. So the point is, guys, go Squarespace. Thank you, Forever Fraiche, for tweeting that to me with #LinusSquarespace. You are the big winner for this month. Cool thing, another cool thing about Squarespace is they have highly dynamic hosting plans. They take care of all the hosting for you, and as your business or your blog continues to grow, it can scale with you and grow with you. You never have to worry about things not working and people having a bad experience when they come to your website. So, are you just doing a snipping tool of it? All right, well, I'm going to move on to our next sponsor spot in the meantime, unless you're ready to just kind of go for gold here. There we go. Phantom Glass is another sponsor that we love these guys.
Oh, yeah.
These guys are one of those companies where most of the time when someone reaches out to me out of the blue and they go, hey, we have this like mobile accessory. It's like a screen protector and we want you to review it. Did the lights just turn off? Oh, do you want? It's motion sensitive.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So we have this screen protector that we want you guys to review. I kind of look at it and I go, "Oh, are you guys kidding? We're not gonna do an entire review video of a screen protector because 1, it's a screen protector, and 2, they're mostly garbage." But these guys reached out and I kind of went, "Okay, you're Canadian, so I'll give my Canadian bros a chance here. I'm gonna at least read the email." And then I kind of made my way through the email and went, that's actually smart. Because the whole idea behind Phantom Glass is that you're using the same Gorilla Glass 3 glass that's already on your phone as a protective layer over top of your phone. And so I kind of went, okay, send it to me, and I may or may not review it. It's going to depend on how much I like it. So they sent it to me, and their claim was that their nano coating, whatever nonsense that they call it, would allow the screen to be applied bubble-free every time and allow it to be taken off and reapplied should the need arise. And I kind of went, BS. Okay.
Sure.
And so the first time I was applying it, when I was doing my review video, I was like super careful and like, making my way down the screen, pressing across it, and I was like, okay, I got this on perfect, cool. And then for the second one, they actually sent me 2 of them. I just put it on, all the bubbles made their way out. It actually made for a pretty compelling video, and Phantom Glass reached out to us because of our review, and how well we were able to capture on video how well the product worked, and they were like, hey, we want to sponsor you guys, we want to work with you guys. So sometimes these random things start up like that. Anyway, the point is, Phantom Glass is a great product, and all of a sudden we've gone from they sent us a random email, and I kind of turned my nose up at them, to now we consider them a partner.
Bros.
We think it's a great product, absolutely great product, and highly recommend it. So visit store.phantom.glass to learn more.
We gotta jump back to the SquareSpace one.
All right.
I want to give Forever Fraiche.
Yeah, we want to give this website some props. I mean, the thing about Squarespace is that it's pretty easy to make your site look great, but it still is a matter of picking a good template and picking photos that look really nice. I wish we could navigate on it, because some of the people who submit these trial sites to us, they don't really put much work into it, and this one actually you can navigate a fair bit.
Sorry, man.
So guys on the stream, please do check out the site, and if you like it, then maybe give Squarespace a try.
All I could really do was get that. So
yeah, I know, man.
There we go. Okay.
All right, SanDisk. This is crazy. SanDisk announced the world's biggest SD card at 512 gigabytes.
Boom.
Literally half the size of the largest consumer-grade full-size SSDs, and we're talking an SD card. It can write at speeds of up to 90 megabytes per second, and should be able to hold about 4 hours of 4K footage or 24 hours of 1080p footage, depending on settings. This is according to Geek.com. Has an MSRP of $800. Actually, not that unreasonable.
I know, but it's for an SD card.
I
Look at
know.
how many we have that die.
Okay. You know what, though? Funny that you should mention that. We've never had a SanDisk die.
It's true.
We've never had a SanDisk die. We've never had an AData die. So, if I was, and it's so funny, because SD cards are one of those very simple devices where brand loyalty, much like hard drives, gets built just based on someone's personal experience.
Yeah.
And based on that,
pretty extensive experience.
we do have a fair bit of experience.
Obviously, the overall pool is still very
small and not statistically significant.
No.
But that doesn't change the fact that when you go through enough AData or SanDisk SD cards and none of them die, you kind of go, okay, well, maybe we'll use some more then.
And it's working out, yeah. It's doing really well, actually.
The Logitech G910.
I keep on getting messages about this, and I have no idea what's going on.
This was posted by X-Tank Slayer, and basically Logitech is working on, it has announced an RGB mechanical gaming keyboard based on Romer G mechanical switches. So it is funny to see the way the industry went from consolidating to everyone just shipping clones of Cherry MX switch keyboards to everyone trying to differentiate again all of a sudden. So Razer's going to their Razer branded switches that are being manufactured in China. Corsair is still playing the Cherry MX trumpet pretty hardcore. In fact, they've started putting Cherry branding right on their packaging. Mm-hmm. That partnership is alive and well. Logitech, who to my knowledge has only done one mechanical gaming keyboard,
the G710 Plus.
The G710 Plus, has gone and released what looks to be positioned as a higher end product with Romer G switches. Now,
so do you know where those are coming from?
No, I know nothing.
I know absolutely nothing about Romer G switches. Obviously, I haven't been able to really spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. Because the most amount of information I've seen about this is in this doc right now.
Yeah, so I've been a little busy with my K70 RGB, which has a 130 plus page user manual, by the way. This is like the not for noobs keyboard, as far as I can tell so far, although I made my way through about the first 40 pages on the flight here, and most of it is pretty self-explanatory.
Well, there's that, once you get to it, there's that like full light control panel thing.
That's going to be complicated.
Badass, yeah, and that'll probably be complicated.
So Logitech's going to have their ARX Control SDK that's going to allow you to control your peripherals from your phone screen, DPI, etc. Okay, and show system information. Going to have media controls for tablets or smartphones. Logitech is sending us a G910.
Okay.
So I've already been in touch, and we are going to definitely try it out. And
really interested to learn more about the switches.
See, I mean, they're rating them for more clicks, which for me, going, okay, well, ours is 70 million keystrokes versus your 50 million keystrokes. It's all kind of
especially when
academic
especially
at that point
with mechanical switches. It's like, yeah, these don't really break.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cherry's rating of 50 million is probably pretty conservative.
Pretty conservative, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This sounds really cool. I think you just skipped over it with your cursor, but Bleep BitTorrent.
Nope,
oh, no, you
I'm
didn't.
on that.
There
Originally posted by Fraiche on the forum. Original articles from TheVerge.com. And BitTorrent is determined to get rid of the stigma.
Yeah.
And that's good because they don't deserve it.
No.
So tell us about Bleep.
I honestly know nothing about it. This is the first time I've seen anything about it. But the second I read any information about it, so it's basically a chat client where it's practically impossible, quote unquote, to gather metadata on who's talking, and it will be available for Windows 7, 8, Mac, Android, iOS clients. Basically everything. The second I read that, which is basically all I really needed to know, it's also in public alpha, by the way, I'm pretty stoked. And I might move a lot of things to this platform if it actually works really well, because not a fan of Skype.
Yeah.
Hate it. But it's the only thing that I seem to be able to get everyone on at the same time. And everyone has the same complaints about it, which this might be able to solve.
Right.
Which would be great. So I hope they have stuff like group chats, which would be very important for stuff that I do. And I don't know. It would be really easy, really interesting to see. Maybe if they have voice chat as well.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on it. I mean, we've seen how quickly BitTorrent Sync is moving.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
holy cow.
BitTorrent Sync is changing really fast, so that's their kind of, I don't want to call it a Dropbox competitor because it's not, but it has some similar functionality to cloud-based storage solutions like Dropbox, except you control your own cloud, and that's what BitTorrent is all about: maintaining your anonymity and your privacy and controlling your own data. And you got to respect that as a company mission statement.
Apparently, from Comcast, you are illegal and should get off their service.
Yeah, well.
But
speaking of illegal, the Pirate Bay founder told he can expect to carry his father's coffin while wearing handcuffs. This is pretty gross. There's only 50 days left on his sentence, and his brother Matt has spoken out for apparently the first time. The original article is from torrentfreak.com. Has spoken out for the first time in his brother's favor, saying, I've deliberately said very little, partly because he can speak for himself, but I feel like the justice system has forgotten about its job to support prisoners to ensure that they don't return to prison. And even though their father has been seriously ill for some time and was admitted to the hospital in the summer, Peter has only been able to visit his father once and has been told he's allowed to attend his father's funeral, but 2 guards will accompany him and he will have to wear handcuffs. And his brother basically is speaking out against this. Sorry, give us one moment. Is speaking out against this, saying, well, the problem with this is that it punishes not only him, but also me and my mother and my dead father and our family.
Everyone that's going to be at the funeral.
And everyone who's going to be at the funeral. It doesn't feel fair.
The optics on that are going to be horrible.
Yep. Google seizes Nexus 5 production. This was posted by Top War Gamer on the forum. The original article is from SlashGear. This came from Canadian wireless carrier Wind Mobile's customer support via Twitter. A customer asked why they don't list the Nexus 5 on their device page, and Wind said, well, because it's no longer being made and we don't have any stock. Samsung to build its own mobile GPU. This is posted on fudzilla.com.
I wonder if that'll be more suing from nvidia.
Interesting. Samsung has managed to hire ex-nvidia, AMD, and Intel employees. Nothing has been announced yet. The development has apparently been going on for at least 2 years. All right. I think we're pretty much going to have to call that in.
One quick thing before we go, actually, because I know quite a few of my friends are really excited about this, is that Twitch announces its Google Chromecast support.
Posted by Rafi on the forum.
Yes.
The original source is blog.twitch.tv. This is exciting.
Yeah. So there's honestly not a ton else to say, but it's sweet.
Yeah. So now you can watch the WAN show on your TV with your Chromecast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next week, because this one's basically over.
Yeah.
So I do want to pick up the camera there. I think we're being kicked out because it's time for everyone to go to dinner, and I'm pretty sure everyone's just kind of
somehow manipulate the
tired in general. Yeah, sure. So, you know what? Oh, I don't have my lav mic, unfortunately. So you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna. Oh, I don't know if I can pop. You know what? I'm just gonna carry this. This is the ghettoest setup ever. But I'm gonna hold this like this, and we want to show you guys. We want to show you guys these modded out rigs. I think the most. Be careful not to press that middle button. Yeah. All right.
I think I'm still wrapped up somehow.
I got no idea, man.
XLR. That's important.
Oh, the XLR cable. Well, you don't need to get that far, right? If you put the laptop on the table, I think you should be long enough to reach the rigs here. So